Everyone, Phi Farley here, getting my betting picks into the college football weekend for September 29th. We are coming off a winning weekend in both NFL and college, as well as a winning week in baseball. Hoping to keep that going. Got a big slate of games tonight that are out there. If you haven't checked out those picks, be sure to follow that and check those out. Check out my NFL picks as well. And looking into a good slate of games this weekend for football. I see a lot of misleading lines, and I think we're going to have a lot of public bettors a little upset this weekend as we look into our slate of games. I mentioned in one of my weeks past perception versus reality. I think this weekend we're going to see a lot of difference of perception versus the reality of some of these teams. And just because you get a number by the beginning of your name of your team, by your state or your city, doesn't necessarily mean you're the best team that's going to be on the football field that day. So let me get into my picks without further ado, or before I do that, actually, let me say thanks to the subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click that subscribe button. Follow me throughout the season, and I hope you will be a better because of that. A better. All right, so now let's get into the picks. All right, first game that I want to go with is going to be going out west. We're looking at Utah Utes going against Washington State University. So, really interesting thing to note here. Washington State is a unique type of team. They are a passing team. They're a Coach Leach team. Just like Texas Tech was, they're molded around his type of offense, which is throwing 80% of the downs. Utah, which is interesting, is a running football team, not a passing football team. Washington State does not protect the run very well on defense. I think in this game we are going to have Utah controlling the clock, controlling the football, and ultimately winning this game. At home, Washington State is going to have to go on the road here and show what they can do in Utah. Utah already has proven themselves to be a quality team, but running the football being their forte. Washington State, their weakness is stopping the run. I don't think their offense is going to get out on the field much. I don't think they're going to be able to control this one. Before you know it, they're going to be a little out of hand and playing into the hands of the Utah Utes. So I'm going to lay the 1.5. We're getting sharp money over on the Utah side as well. I'm going to be following that. Let's see. We're getting 76% of public money over on the Washington State Cougars. Meanwhile, 54% of the money over on Utah. So did I say that right? 76% of the tickets over on Washington State, 54% of the money over on Utah. I'm going to go with the sharp money, Utah Utes minus 1.5. All right, second game, we are going to San Jose State, staying out on the West Coast. Okay, so I really like this spot for San Jose State. Hawaii, you could typically back at home and fade on the road. They have an obvious dynamic. If you've ever vacationed to Hawaii, you would know that it's a little distracting at times. So they have a clear advantage when they play Hawaii at home. They have 2 games on the road over in the States, one of which was to Army, which was a loss. That's their lone loss this season. Meanwhile, San Jose State coming off of 2 back-to-back tough games, Washington State and then Oregon. In those games, it might be a little deceiving against Washington State. They actually had a pretty good showing, even though it was 31-0. They actually played fairly decent. 31-0 might be a little misleading. Oregon, top 25 team, top 20 team now, they held their own and had this game pretty close to in reach at 35-22 final. Hawaii, that other road game, was Colorado State, of which was a 9-point victory. Now we're getting San Jose State, which has a lot of athletes on their team. They're coming back home where they're going to get Hawaii, and we're getting 10 points. I think this is fantastic. 10 is too much. We will have a 1-score game here. Hawaii may win this one. We'll keep it within 7. Give me the 10. I have no problem taking San Jose State plus the 10 at home, which is a key part of that handicap against Hawaii. So give me San Jose State there. Next game, also going to be which speaking of, let me give you the live betting lines there for San Jose State. Keep it in mind, this is Friday afternoon that we're getting these lines. So San Jose State, 75% of the money, 63% of the tickets over on Hawaii. Once again, public money over on the Hawaii side. Sharper money coming in on San Jose State. All right, speaking of, we have another position here where Oregon is going on the road to California. Now this, I had to pick a spot here. I had two teams that I really liked. One was Kansas State, with Texas coming into town, coming off 2 top 25 wins. A perception versus reality. Kansas State plays well at home and will play Texas really tough, plus the 8.5. However, I like this spot a little bit better because Oregon is coming off that Stanford heartbreaking loss at home. They did everything right, had done everything up to that point. I still think Oregon, I picked Stanford last week. If you saw my video, I still think Oregon is a little bit of a hollow egg. They have not played very tough opponents, a Portland State and a Bowling Green in there. Meanwhile, Cal is a little more proven, and they're at home 3-0 so far. Oregon, heartbreaking loss, now coming into town. We have a featured matchup. Cal has kind of been the stomping mat of the Pac-12, and they would love to put themselves on the map. Here we have a featured isolated game, 7:30 Pacific time. Oregon, who's been on the poster of the Pac-12 West Coast Nike team out west, and now they're going to get them on a featured night here this weekend. I think it's going to be a fantastic spot for California. I have a little bit of a connection too from my Eagles up to Cal, as their offensive coordinators are former coach. 61% of the tickets on Oregon, 64% of the money on Cal, moving that line from 5.5 opening down to just 2. I think we got a California win tonight or tomorrow night. So I'll be backing the California Bears at Berkeley. So there you go. There's 3 picks. Let's see. Here's another spot. I love this one. Perception versus reality. So we got Old Dominion. Oh, Old Dominion, you beat Virginia Tech. Congratulations. Everyone knows about Old Dominion. Does everyone know what Liberty did to Old Dominion? They lost 52-10. They lost by 42 points to Liberty. They also lost to Charlotte. Old Dominion, I don't know how they pulled that upset off. It's more about Virginia Tech there. But now they're going to East Carolina off this huge high, and they're going to get East Carolina Pirates, who beat North Carolina 41-19. I mean, and I won't say that North Carolina is a great team, but they can at home pound an opponent. I'm not going to look too deep, by the way, into that North Carolina A&T loss, because North Carolina A&T is actually one of the better FCS schools, and those top FCS schools have typically taken down FBS opponents. So North Carolina A&T may very well be the better team there, who would also whoop Old Dominion as well, let it be known. We're laying 6.5 with East Carolina at home. Old Dominion coming in off a high against Virginia Tech. East Carolina is going to pound them at home, going back to the old losing ways of Old Dominion. It was fun while it lasted. So give me the East Carolina Pirates minus 6.5. Final game I have for you, Buffalo at home getting Army coming into town. Buffalo is for real. 4-0, beating Temple, Eastern Michigan, Rutgers, 3-0. And each one of them by 7 points or more. So I don't have a problem laying 7.5 here against Army. Army would be right about even with each one of those teams. Beating Liberty, beating Hawaii, also losing to Duke and to Oklahoma. They played well against Oklahoma, had to get up for that game. Circled game on there against Oklahoma. Now they're going to travel to Buffalo. Not a good spot. So I'm going to take Buffalo with a double-digit victory over Army, laying the 7.5. So there you go. We got Buffalo laying the 7.5. East Carolina laying the 6.5. Utah laying the 1.5. San Jose State getting 10. Cal Bears getting 2. There's my 5 picks. Any other picks I have, I'm going to throw them down in the comments. Please be sure to check back and look at those, because I have been putting a write-in game or 2 down in the comments, and every one of those is 1 so far. So be sure to check back, check out those picks. And again, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. All right, good luck everyone this weekend. See you again soon.